Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Whoa, new day. Huh. A new day, and there's like beautiful price action. Really, really beautiful price action that I see so far on gold. And when I say beautiful price action, I'm mainly referring to the fact that there has been a lot of liquidity being created, which is good because there is buy side sitting above price, sell side sitting below price. So we might actually see really interesting price action, especially after the 10 a.m. news. There's going to be high impact news. Good morning, everyone. So there's going to be high impact news in about 15 minutes. No, actually, there's going to be some news right now in about 40 seconds. S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. So we're going to see how that is going to come out. And then in 15 minutes, there's going to be ISM Manufacturing PMI and also job openings. So yeah, we could actually see some cool stuff going on. Like I said, we have buy side sitting above the marketplace, sell side sitting under the marketplace. What is currently drawing my attention is this piece of price action over here. And obviously the buy side sitting at the high of the London session, and then the sell side sitting at the low of the London session, but also at the low of the Asia session. And if we move on to a slightly higher time frame, for example, the 30 minutes, we're going to see that silver has created some relatively equal highs over here. And that pretty much coincides with this thing over here. So I'm mainly thinking that what I'm interested in is mainly to see if gold will break Asia low. If Asia low is going to be broken on gold, then I'm expecting a continuation lower. So basically, if we break the low of the Asia session, I would assume that that is going to be considered as a bearish breaker, and we might actually gravitate lower towards this minor sell side liquidity here sitting at 3111, and then maybe even lower 3100, and then even lower at yesterday's Asia session, maybe 3077, something like that. But like I said, that could be a thing, mainly, not only if, but mainly if price is going to break the low of the Asia session. The reason why the low of the Asia session, is this important right now, considering this like the way in which price action developed lately, is because this is the originating point of this bullish price leg. That it's very obvious. First of all, it's very obvious, and second, it is the second leg of the biggest SMT that we see here currently. So, and yes, I know there isn't some sort of SMT where gold would make a higher high and silver would make equal highs. We talked about this in the stream yesterday. But yeah, we'll see. So yeah, areas that I'm focusing on right now, not necessarily as strong liquidity, not necessarily as points of entry, but I just want to see first if price will get to those areas, and second, how will price react after getting to those areas. So as like I don't know, I'll call it like minor liquidity. So we have this high over here. Let me just go to the 5 minutes. So I have this high over here, and then we're gonna have this low and this low, the low of London. So currently price action is just, yeah, in a range. So definitely sell side here and buy side here. It's going to be really interested to see how price will use it. Yeah, that's mainly what I'm looking for today. So yeah, it's as usual, just a waiting game. Also, I'm looking at if gold is not going to make anything significant, I don't know, any significant move that might actually help me identify what it might be doing next, then I'm just going to be focusing on silver. For now, what I see on silver is that it's creating lower lows and lower highs, and for now, the most recent created bearish fair value gap, it's this one on the 5 minutes on the 9:30 candle. So 9:30, yeah, 9:30 candle. And for now, we don't know whether that one is going to be respected or not, because it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. But we'll see. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So right now, as usual, just waiting, 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 waiting. All right. Also, like another thing that I'm also going to keep an eye on is going to be this bullish fair value gap here on gold on the 15 minutes chart, the 4 a.m. candle. Basically, this is the last fair value gap that price formed. This one, the last fair value gap that price formed prior to entering into this consolidation. So for now, we could say that the fair value gap is offering support. Therefore, it would be an anomaly to see that that fair value gap would be invalidated. Therefore, if that's going to happen, then we're likely going to see, again, prices looking to go lower. But like I said, we'll see, because right now there's pretty much nothing that is clear on the charts, to be honest. So yeah, the 1 hour, let's also look at the 1 hour. I think this was a daily fair value gap on gold, on silver, wasn't it? Yeah. Daily. So, basically, as usual, if I'll see, like, let's say sell side sweep and then SMT followed by bullish fair value gap and a retest and then a rejection from the fair value gap, then basically I will consider that price is likely to reach for the buy side liquidity, sitting higher. And then if the opposite is going to happen, buy side sweep, SMT, followed by bearish fair value gap, retest, and then rejection from the fair value gap, then I'll consider that price might actually be reaching towards the sell side. We'll just have to wait for the market to pick a side. Okay, that's what I'm currently waiting for. Yeah, really, really choppy price action, like. Also, honestly, I would hate to see silver being the one to sweep liquidity and not gold. I would really not want to see silver being the one to sweep liquidity and not gold. Yeah. Also marking this area here, 31, 34-ish. As an area of equilibrium. It's basically the mid-range of the Asia session. And you can really see how price just sits there, you know. I feel like looking at the on the 5 minutes, like I have to squeeze my chart a lot to make the whole price action fit, you know. So when you feel that you have to squeeze your chart a lot to make the price action fit, your screen, it's always a good idea to go on the next higher time frame, and because most likely whatever is going on is no longer relevant. Whatever is going on that time frame where you have to squeeze the price action so to make it fit into your screen, most likely it's whatever is going on that time frame. It's not that relevant because it's just price moving a lot up and down, up and down, up and down for a period of time that it's already too long, and it's just too many candles just showing you price going nowhere inside that consolidation, you know. So I'm just gonna stick to the 15-minute view, at least for now. So I can see that silver here has already swept this low here, whereas gold did not do that. Gold is just forming this bullish inversion here, the 920 candle on the 5 minutes. So just keep an eye on that as well. Also, this SIBI on silver, the 930, it's becoming relevant right now because it did get respect eventually. It was respected eventually in price. You know, went slightly lower to sweep this low here. So we'll see, because if price is going to invert that, then we're probably going to see it potentially reaching higher. So if the indicator pair is going to become more clear on a possible direction, it could also help me, you know, identify or have like a clearer vision on what gold might be onto. Okay, so it's 10 a.m. I said I'm going to be looking on the 15 minutes, right? I'm not taking this, okay? It's just more like a paper trade. All right? All right, so right now I will become interested to take a short if we're gonna, I'm not sure if that's gonna happen, but still, if it's gonna retest the 1001 SIBI, but you know, prior to breaking this area here, 3128.40. If it first breaks that area and then comes back into the SIBI, I'm not really gonna be interested in it. But yeah, you can see that it's kind of difficult, you know, to navigate a market like this. I don't know. It's okay. So I have minor SMT, bearish FVG, and a retest of that. So I'm still gonna wait for the rejection candle off of the fair value gap. Okay. But at the same time, I'm also paying attention, and this is probably going to reflect in my lot size if I'm going to have an entry confirmation candle on the 1 minute. This is going to reflect on my lot size the fact that we also have an SMT at the lows. It hasn't been confirmed yet, and the idea that we're not yet seeing a rejection from silver, and however, we could say that gold is just still finding support into that 15-minute fair value gap, which is here, the 4 a.m. 15-minute BSC. Okay, so you see how it's good to wait for an entry confirmation candle from the fair value gap. So like I said, I did not enter any trade. This was just more like paper. I'm going to wait for a rejection candle. And obviously, if this high here, 1001, it's broken to the upside, then I'm not going to be doing anything at that point. Pretty interesting to see what reaction we're going to be getting from this small BSC. If it's going to invalidate that, then it's going to be a good opportunity to take the short. Also look at how the midpoint of that bearish order block has been respected. So 20 seconds until the current candle closes. And we'll see whether we get an entry or not. So to consider this a valid entry, and it's more going to be like a, you know, Yeah, to consider this a valid entry, I would love to see the fair value gap here, the bullish one, being completely invalidated, which did not happen. And also look at how that 1 minute candle, the previous one, closed right at the midpoint of the bearish fair value gap. So it's not really reclaiming the bearish fair value gap, the 1001, and it's not invalidating the 1005 BC on the 1 minute either. The only thing that's going on right now that would support the idea of a short would be just so far the bearish order block being respected, especially its mean threshold here. So yeah, I guess could be waiting for another 10 seconds to see how this current candle will close on the 1 minute, to see whether this candle, when it's about to close, if it's going to reclaim. Not really. So just so you understand what I'm looking for, I'm looking for a bearish candle that's going to have a lower low close compared to the last bearish candle. I'm also looking for that candle to have, a close under the BISI, the 1005, and also preferably under the 1001 SIBI, and therefore reclaiming it. For now, it's not doing that. So we'll see. Maybe this current candle is going to do that. 10 seconds. Wow. Just look at just keeps on not going all the way. Okay. Okay, so there's basically no reason why price would want to go back above the order block, not even above the mean threshold of the order block. Okay, so my stop loss is going to be there, and I'll just move on to 5 minutes for a potential target. Could get like almost 1 to 2 R till this low. I'll see what will happen more once price reaches that area. So my risk right now, it's like 23 pips. And I've opened one contract, one lot. So like I said, it's my risk is very low, 0.5%. And I might not necessarily take profit once it reaches to TP here. I'll see. Because this really has the potential to move a lot lower. Of course, if silver is not gonna just reject from here, because I mean it's pretty obvious. Just look at this. Okay, it's this area, and this is what's going on, and it's mainly because of the 15-minute BISI, which is the last BISI that was formed prior to price entering into a consolidation. So that's currently still acting as support. Let's see. And also what I could say, okay, I like the way it's rejecting from the inversion here. So we could mark that as a inversion FEG. Okay, yeah, it's coming out nicely. should continue to drop lower. $68 people watching. And only 25 live streams. Come on, guys. You can really do more than that. Okay? Really. So come on, let's heat up the chat. Like the stream, guys. Thumbs up. Oh yeah. Ooh. Nice one. Okay, so I'm securing stop loss at break even, and I'm gonna take 70% off. Ooh. Okay, let's see if it can get here. That's gonna be okay. So right now I've got, you know what? I've secured 1% because this already moved 3R. Okay, and it's quite good. Okay, so I got out 70% at 31.24. Because believe it or not, on my broker, the low of this candle is, because I'm trading my account, not funded. The low is 3122.88, which is a lot lower than where this went. Okay, the low here is only 3124.46. It went to almost 3122, 2133, 2123. Oh my God, on my broker. It's probably going to take me out of break even for the runner right now. I can't really believe, like, so this low was swept here, this one, London low, okay, completely smashed, but it doesn't seem to be happening here on forex.com, which is the prize provider that I'm using. But yeah. Okay, now if we look at the 15-minute fair value gap, you're going to see that we had a nice invalidation of that. It would be even better if it could also create like at least a 5-minute SIBI in here, because on the 1 minute it already created a SIBI in invalidating, or as it was invalidating that 15-minute, this one. So it's pretty cool. It's exactly what I wanted to see, that this becomes an inversion on the 15 minutes. We'll see what happens with this thing here. With this 1016 BC. Someone asking me if I'm currently in a technical mode. What does that mean? Technical mode. I don't know. Technical mode. I don't know what that is. If you could explain what technical mode means. So guys, today's Tuesday, right? Tuesday. All right, so a new 5-minute candle closed. So it means that right now we have a SIBI over here. Honestly, I would like the SIBI to not be tapped on the 5 minutes, you know, to just act as a breakaway gap. Even though, whatever, I'm not really that good at spotting or knowing, I don't know exactly how a breakaway gap should look like. So anyway, like, how do you know that a gap is going to be a breakaway gap before it becomes a breakaway gap, when it would be, you know, useful to you to know if it's a breakaway gap, you know? Because it's no use to me to know it's a breakaway gap after it became a breakaway gap, you know? Anyway, maybe it's just me. Okay, so let's look at this minor SMT again, not yet confirmed, okay? But you can see what a minor SMT can actually do. And in here, the reason why this was a very good example of like a good setup, a setup that it did follow like the, you know, the things that we're usually looking for, SMT, FEG, rejection from the FEG. This was actually like a all-in-one setup, I could say, because we had a minor consolidation at an area which I've marked with equilibrium, the midpoint of the Asia session. It's likely going to continue to move lower, by the way. Then we've also had like the SMT, okay? At the same time, while this SMT was being created, silver was inside this 5-minute FEG here, okay? That one's marked on the 5 minutes. Also, after the SMT, we had a nice break lower with the fair value gap plus the order block here, and then a move into the fair value gap and into the order block. But look at how perfectly the order block mean threshold was respected, and at the same time with in here with gold going higher here to create the SMT, so going back to the SMT, silver was not only, you know, that it rejected here from this 5-minute SIBI, but it also rejected here from this M1 SIBI. Okay, so I didn't notice the 1-minute SIBI until now, but I did have the 5-minute marked on the chart. Here it is. So it was pretty cool. So I'm still holding like a runner here. I'm not sure for how long though. We'll see. Okay, this just got inverted. And we have this 5-minute SIBI. Let's not forget about it here. Interesting, like I said, the fact that on another broker price, so it's really weird because on the 15 minutes on another broker, the previous candle's low is lower than the current candle's low. So we're on the 15-minute here, okay, and in here these two candles look like this, right? Where we have the current candle's low is lower than the previous candle, but on another broker they go like this, you know. Yeah. My stop loss is secured at break even. I can't really exemplify the way I've taken profit here, so I'm just going to put it like here, even though I took profit during this candle 1014 at 2124, which is where price reached later, but whatever, I'll just have it like this. And yeah, it was a very nice setup, this one. Let's see if we're gonna get any reaction from the 1 minute, sorry, from the 5-minute SIBI. So I got my 1% today, for whoever is asking. It's like I've reached a certain milestone for today. Most likely, and by the way, it was 1% with risking 0.5%. I didn't risk 1% to get 1%. I risked 0.5% to get 1%, which is good. 1 to 2R. And I've actually had 3R on this trade, but because I've only taken 70% of the profit, yeah, that's why I only made like 1% instead of 1.5%. Okay, so it just reached into the 5-minute SIBI. Honestly, I would like to see a little bit more of a confirmation for a short here. I don't know why. Maybe it's going to be a good time to enter now as well, but I'm not really sure about it. And the reason for this is because I consider for a 5-minute setup, which the order of the setup happening is perfect, right? I have the SMT, and then I have the fair value gap, and then the move into the fair value gap and the rejection. So the fair value gap is the one that confirms the SMT is valid. The thing is that for a 5-minute setup, I would have liked that the sweep of liquidity here above that high was made at a high that was more important, at a more important high, you know? Like if you take this high here, okay, the one that was swept, so it had that high, and then the second high of the SMT swept it, okay? So we had gold creating a higher high, and then the SIBI, right, on the 5 minutes. But like I said, I would have loved if the higher high occurred above a more important high. This is like 940. Okay, you could say it's the high that was created after market open, whatever, but it doesn't look that obvious, that important. At least not to me. And still, even if price is gonna start like really melting from here, I still have 30% of my trade open, so that's good. So one win for now for today's session. Low risk entry just to test out the trade. No, the reason why I took a low risk entry was not to test out the trade. No, it was not because of that. It was because we also had SMT at the lows, which could represent price maybe looking to go higher. That's why. So when you have like two possible conflicting SMTs, but you have a confirmation to enter a trade for one of them, then it's okay. It's good to only go in like less risk, maybe half risk than usual, because then if that setup is going to be invalidated because the other SMT is going to get validated and it's going to give you an entry, you still have you still have gunpowder, to play. Okay. Someone asking, did you stop uploading or being active? I used to watch your videos of backtesting Silver Bullet. No. Do you see me not being active? I am active, just that in a different form. I am active through making live streams. Yeah. Okay, so let's see where is the next area of liquidity. So next area of liquidity right now on gold is like sell side, which would be like the next potential target would be Asia low. Okay, Asia low, 3120. We shall see if we are going to have a rejection. We'll see. Because look at this. Oh my god, sorry. look at this. Let me show you. See, we're still like this. Still SMT at the lows. Okay, and sell side, buy side of the consolidation. Okay, this whole consolidation here. So even though the bullish FVG on the 15-minute, this one, the 4 a.m. I think it was, yeah, even if that was invalidated, it still doesn't mean it's a guaranteed melt of the market, you know? Still doesn't mean that. Hence why I'm not necessarily looking to add more onto my position, especially because I'm still in the game. And just look at silver. You know what I would actually like to see? That would more like strengthen my idea of maybe continuing to move lower. Not till the point where I would still add onto my trade, but more like being confident that I'm going to make possibly more money with 30% of this runner than what I made with the rest 70% of my initial trade. Would be to see silver take out the minor buy side above here. Not necessarily here as well, but it could. Whereas gold would just not do that. It would just stay stuck and not go above the 5-minute CB. Not invalidated, no nothing. So I'm just gonna mark that high on silver as well with S&T BSL. Okay, so silver taking out that minor buy side, and it's good because gold seems to be respecting this CB here, 1030 and 1 CB. And it created that 1-minute CB after it rejected from the 5-minute CB, but we'll see. Because you see silver, it did take out that, come on, stay here, that minor SMT buy side, but so far it's not really showing like a real rejection from it. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Say hello. Say hello to everyone. Say hello, everyone. Come on. Ooh. Hello, guys. Stay here. Oh my god. Does it happen to you also? Do you guys have cats? Really? Do you have any pets? Let me know in the chat. Because sometimes I I feel like squishing her and squeezing her. Oh my god. Ooh. Come on. Move. Get out of here. Oh my god. She left some hair on my face. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. See? See, this is silver not rejecting, so it means, so silver not rejecting from after taking minor sell side here, which means it's not yet ready to reject, to go down. And maybe it won't be ready to go, you know, maybe it just won't, who knows. We'll see. But it also took out this one, which is somehow good. But now the question is, so you see, every time one of the pairs makes a higher high and the other one doesn't, you always have to ask yourself, okay, the pair that made a higher high, that higher high, is that a break of structure, market structure shift, change of character, or something like that? Or was that just a buy-side sweep? Okay, because if this on silver is if this on silver is a market structure shift or a change of character, then we're expecting price to continue to move higher, right? On both pairs. However, if it was a buy-side sweep, then we're expecting both pairs to start moving lower, okay? So that's why every time one of the pairs makes a higher high, you want to wait to see a confirmation of whether that higher high was a sweep of liquidity, which means price should start to move in the opposite direction, or if it was change of character, a market structure shift, which means that price is actually going to move that way. And maybe you're going to ask me, okay, Alex, look, the 1039 candle on silver, it's a bearish candle. It's rejecting from after taking that buy side liquidity. Why aren't you shorting gold? Well, because if I were to short gold, the 1039 candle on gold is also bearish. However, is there any SIBI to the left side that it's rejecting from? Not really. Not really. So that 1 minute, the 1039 rejection candle on silver might actually be just a fake rejection candle. Why? Because gold is not in alignment with that. It's showing also a rejection candle, like we have this SMT, whatever, like this. Okay. But gold, in order for me to make sense to take a short trade, with that, gold should be rejecting from an SMT from the left side. And it isn't. I mean, yeah, okay, you could say, Alex, it's rejecting from this one. Or Alex, it's rejecting from this one, whatever, okay? But those are already rebalanced. Those FEGs are already rebalanced. I would rather want to see gold maybe tapping one more time that 5-minute SIBI and then showing signs of rejection at the same time with silver starting to show signs of rejection again. But I don't think that's going to happen, honestly. I don't think it will happen. I don't think we're going to see it go any further down. So Yeah, it could take me out of break even. We'll see. But look at silver, like the way it's starting to pick up bullish momentum, you know? You got to ask yourself, where is it going? Where's the next? Where could it go? So there's 2 points where it could go, okay? One, it would be buy side. Where do I have buy side? I have buy side here and here and here, okay? The high of the current high of the ones of the New York session. Second point where it could go is a SIBI from the left side that preferably has not been rebalanced yet. And that could be from a higher time frame, not necessarily from here, from 5 minutes. Could be 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. There isn't any. See? There's no... So this is the 15 minutes. Okay? Well, I could say apart from this one, there isn't any. So let's just mark that one like that. Even though in 20 seconds, this 15-minute candle will close. So if it's going to close like this with invalidating this SIBI, then it could be pretty obvious. Let's see 30 minutes. 30 minutes. 30 minutes could seem to be a SIBI there. And then the 1 hour, nothing really. Okay. Why I'm not really confident with like why I think it would be better to probably wait for price to reach a little higher, especially on silver. Like, we'll see. So I'm still in a trade, okay? And right now I'm pretty much scouting for both sides of the market. Oh my god. Like my face is full of cat hair. Oh my god. It's tingling like all over the place. Yeah. So I said that there is buy side here. Let's also mark why that is. So what are you guys saying? Clarence said he has a cat that looks just like mine. And someone says, I have a cat too. She's very clingy or clingy. Really, guys, how do you read that word? Clingy or clingy? I never know. But she drools saliva on my laptop when she's too comfy, so I time out. Oh my god. We're going to retest all-time high. Gold is super choppy this session. Yeah, super choppy. But even so, managed to get like 70 pips out of it. And it was like no drawdown trade, which was really cool. Because I've entered immediately after the 10:09 candle closed and the 10:10 candle opened. So yeah, you could say that the drawdown was like, okay, 16 pips. Not a big deal. But yeah, choppy price action. Very choppy. Not a lot of questions from you guys today. I'm thinking, and honestly, I haven't seen you guys asking so many questions in the chat in the last couple of streams, which means either that, what do you want? You came again. Come on. It either means that you guys don't have any questions because, I've just explained the entry rules so many times during these live streams that you guys already are, you guys already know. Or you're not paying attention to the live stream. But I don't think it's the second. I think it's the first. 65 people watching, 52 likes. Do me a favor and bring the like count up. Tough read today due to the choppiness, so I'm just learning how you analyze. Okay, learn how I analyze. See? A rejection that was not a rejection. On silver, that is. And look at this. How nicely rejected from here. But honestly, I wouldn't have entered, I mean. We'll see what it does now because it retested the 5-minute SIBI. And also silver reached into that 30-minute SIBI that it had. So it's really going to be interesting to see how it's going to close right now. Oh my God, just stop. This is what I hated because there's another 20 more seconds until the current candle is going to close. And it still has it moved away from that fair value gap by a lot. Okay. A lot. It moved away from it. So okay, I'm not adding more. Okay. But if I were to be adding more to my trade, this is where I'd add more. But I would do this with a small lot size. So just so you know, I'm not adding more on my position, okay? So we have SMT here with here. Silver took out minor buy side from minor SMT buy side. while gold was rebalancing the 5-minute CB, rejecting from it. Also silver rejecting from a 30-minute CB. And I like the size of that 1051 candle. And 1050, I would consider that a bearish order block. So, oh my God, just hear my cat. Bearish order block here. You guys will have to excuse me a bit because she wants out and I have to give her what she wants. I'll be right back. right, I'm back. What is going on here? Nothing really, huh? Nothing really so far. This thing could actually not work after all. And here's why. When you take a break from the chart, you come back with a different view. You see the SIBI here on silver? That's becoming an inversion. See? This one. So if it's becoming a bullish inversion on silver, why would gold go down? It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. So honestly, I didn't add another position to my trade. But if you know what, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just not going to say anything. This might not work, the second entry. Also, it might not work because after it rejected from here, from the 5-minute SIBI, it also created this SIBI on the 1 minute, the 251 candle. It also went up to rebalance it, and then it rejected with 1056 candle. Should have already dropped. It doesn't really seem to be doing that. So if this would be the only trade that I entered right now, I would probably take out half of it, like it is right now, a minor loss. It doesn't look good for a continuation lower. Silver doesn't look good for a continuation lower because it's just inverted this. It's the 930 SIBI on the 5 minutes that silver rejected from, created a push lower into SMT again, and right now it's inverting it. So we're likely going to see it push higher. Both pairs. We'll see. See, and it's also closing above the midpoint of that, which was supposed to be like a bearish order block, the 1050 candle. We'll see. Yep, just like I said. Yep. Yep. Got out of break even on this trade, so eventually it was just 3R for me. And this one never happened. But if I would have taken this, like I said, I would have definitely got out with half around here. Actually, once I came back from the bathroom and I realized, and from feeding the cats, I realized that the 930 SIBI on silver was becoming an inversion. So obviously, at least silver, it's going to reach out to buy side. So then the question remains, why wouldn't gold do the same? Greetings from Malaysia. Hello. Hello. All right, guys. It's been, I think, almost 2 hours since the live stream started. Took a trade, explained things. Like, honestly, I think we can call it a day right now. Okay. So thank you for being here. If you learned something useful from the live stream today, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have questions, leave them in the comments, because this is going to remain as a video on my YouTube channel. So if you have questions, just make sure to pop them in the comments and I'll make sure to come back to you. So thank you for being here, guys. Talk to you.